Hey, good morning. How are you all doing? Ladies and gentlemen, degenerates, gamblers, college basketball fans, college football fans, anybody I might have left out. You can see the crew's already slap happy this morning. We missed each other over Thanksgiving break, and we missed you guys too. We have an absolutely loaded episode of the Cup of Joe on Campus podcast here today. You know the drill. Me and the man sitting to my left running through the entire collegiate football slates and basketball slates today. Now, just might have a little update as well. We might have a couple of special guests joining us live on today's show as well. Now, joining me now, as always, I've mentioned him a few times without acknowledging his presence, the man, the myth, the degenerate gambling legend and TTL resident cheesehead himself, Mr. Riley RMags Magnuson. Partner, how the hell you doing over there, sir?
My man, I am doing fantastic. Got the brain reset over the last couple of days with Turkey Day and a nice, relaxing, whatever you. I don't want to call it Black Friday because we obviously didn't do any of the Black Friday festivities. Right. It was it was a hell of a Friday as far as relaxing and resetting the brain, and a hell of a sports day. And boy, oh boy, this is the day that I have been waiting for, not only this entire week, but because of some of these college football games, I've been waiting for a solid month, my friend. So I'm excited to dive into some stuff here today.
Juiced. Beyond juiced, my friends. There's no other word for it, what I am today. How was Thanksgiving? You get the old ribs filled up with plenty of good stuffing, turkey, dressing, everything in between? Or you still
all
a little...
the above.
Oh, okay, so not coming to the show hungry. All right,
no.
I love the fucking sound of it.
Fantastic.
You know me, I do my Thanksgiving stuff the weekend before, so spend some time just kicking the feet up, resetting the brain, like you said, man, and I am ready to rock and roll. It was nice to kind of get away from the old books for a little bit. I still made some plays, spun the wheels a little bit, and I'm ready to rock and roll for a huge Saturday here, my friends. So, myself personally, I got 10 plays to dish out. I got 4 college basketball and then 4 college football, then 6 college basketball. I apologize. We're lining up on a couple college basketballs that I've seen so far, partner. And then once we get through all of that, maybe about halfway through the college basketball slate, actually, we're going to be joined by 2 special guests. People that we are very honored and humbled to call our friends, and can't wait for you guys to hang out with us all this morning. You may have actually seen one of them on our other show, the Wise Words podcast. But who am I? What do I know? Without further ado, partner, anything from your side of the camera? Actually, you just reminded me we need to do the most important part of this here Cup of Joe on Campus pod. We're sitting in fucking coffee beans, for crying out loud, with a Benjamin behind us right over here. So, to you over there, sir, and all you beautiful gambling people, getting your Saturdays started, ready to do a little ticket cashing, take your sip, and let's get on with it.
Ooh, I got 2 cups today, dude.
Whoa!
I'm double fisted. I'm prepared.
I do too.
I'm prepared for a long one.
I do too, so we must be on the same page. Let's go.
I love it. All
right.
Yeah.
So,
I'm ready.
Go ahead.
No,
Anything else?
I'm ready.
All right. Now, as always, we will start with the college football slate, my friends. A little water as well, in addition to the coffee there. But before we dive into the college football slate, we got a primetime college basketball game at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. That is 27 minutes shortly from now. So, I got a little value on it. Partner's already backing me on it. I said, well, hell, I'll dish that out first, then we'll dive into the college football nonsense. So without further ado, my friends, rip out your sports books because it's about to be nothing but winners coming your direction for the next hour to hour and a half. Starting with this one right here. We're going to the matchup between the Maryland Terrapins and the Louisville Cardinals, and we're taking the Maryland Terrapins plus 1.5. Plus 2 is even better, my friends, but I would even take this to -2 Maryland because I think they should be favored. I think Louisville is being a little overvalued coming off that win against Mississippi State in their last matchup, and there are some keys that I really think make this game fall in favor of the Terrapins. First of all is offensive and defensive efficiency. Maryland 46th in AOE. That's how I'll start calling it so we don't have a bunch of words. Adjusted offensive efficiency. And then 47th in ADE. Adjusted defensive efficiency. As for Louisville, 80th in AOE and 31st in ADE. So They got a solid defense, but I think they're going to have a little bit of trouble putting the ball in the basket time and here and there, possession to possession. It's not going to be the entire game, but possession to possession, I think the Maryland defense definitely shines. Also, tempo, I think Maryland is able to slow this game down a little bit once they get a lead and really start to build upon that lead. 172nd in the nation in tempo compared to Louisville's 127th. So Louisville doesn't boat race teams by any means, so I like Maryland to control this slower, tight-paced game. Last but not least, a rebound for me, my friend. I think Maryland cleans up the glass left, right, and center, both offensively and defensively. They're 88th in offensive rebounding percent and 10th in defensive offensive rebounding percent, as goofy as that sounds. So defensive side of the ball, their opponents getting rebound is 10th in opponent rebound percent. I'll say it like that. And then Louisville, 165th in the nation in offensive rebounding percent and 110th in the nation in defensive rebounding percent per KenPom. So I think Maryland's that severe edge there allows them to get some of those key critical hustle points, hustle stats, everything like that. But you don't believe me? Believe the trends. Louisville, 2-5 ATS last 7 overall, 7-18-2 ATS last 27 following an ATS win. Can you say overreaction? Louisville 2-6 ATS last 8 as a neutral site favorite. Maryland 12-5 ATS last 17 as a neutral site dog, and 42-18-4 last 64. Holy cow. Ooh. Saturday games, my friend. Almost said 54. Don't want to shortchange them 10. Let's sweat live here on the show in but now short 24 minutes from the last time I said it. First best bet, college basketball slate coming from me. Maryland Terrapins plus 1.5, baby.
My friend, I caught this one at plus 2.5 about 10 minutes ago. I am right there with you, my friend. I don't have too much to add on this one, but I'm ready for some live show action, my friend. I can't wait. I was surprised to see this one, obviously, at 9 a.m. our time. Condolences to those who are, well, maybe not if you're an early riser, but that 7 a.m. West Coast start time's got to be rough if you're a fan of either of these teams, I imagine.
Most def. And I think that line movement from the 1.5 up to the 2.5, I think that's a little fugazi, my friend. Yep. Line movement's been fugazi all week long and into this weekend. I tweeted it out last night. Does line movement mean nothing anymore? And I really think that is the case. Hey, as always in the comments, good morning, Miss Kim. Thanks for joining us for Cup of Joe on campus. All right, partner. There it is. Let's fucking sweat, dude. I think they get the outright win, but either way, let's get it. Okay, now, switching gears, we'll go back to college basketball in a little while. College football. It's rivalry week, partner. We got freaking Ohio State, Michigan. We got freaking Florida State. I mean, there's Roll Damn Tide against Auburn in the Iron Bowl, baby. You know what fucking day it is. No, I will not be hammering a play on Alabama because it seems like every time I decide to do that, Auburn walks it off with a 5,000-yard field goal return, and I'm just not here to live through that once again, so I'm going to let them win. Enough for me, partner. Let's dive into it. First game up on tap, anything from you. Florida State going into Gainesville. The Gators laying 3 at home, total at 59. Any value there for you, sir?
My friend, I know we typically like to steam through some of these that we don't have action on. I've been kicking this one around the last 24 hours, honestly.
Yep.
I've got no interest in taking Florida. I feel like my heart's just telling me to stay the hell away from this one. Both teams 5-6, trying to get the bowl eligibility. I'm interested in Florida State plus the 3. It seems too risky, though. Are you any interested in this one at all?
Man, it's kind of fucked because I wanted Florida minus the 3, especially with it going 2.5 to 3. It seems like the right play. It does. And then, again, how many times have I sat on this exact show or the Talking the Line pod and said, Florida State plus 2.5, that's a fucking setup and a half. Take the 2.5 or don't play this game at all. So I'm right there with you, man. I think that Florida State is the more valuable side, but I'm going to be staying away from this one in general. I don't think there's any value here for me, so.
Yeah, let's move on. Otherwise, I probably will jump into it.
Yeah, and we'll go into a couple rabbit holes on that one, so I'm good. Let's keep it high level. Next one up on tap, Georgia Bulldogies. Going to Georgia Tech getting 35 points, 5 touchdowns at home. Any value from you, my friend?
No, sir. These Georgia spreads have been basically a toss-up. I mean, they are 7-4, I guess, ATS, but no thanks. I'm not in this one.
All right, now this next game, I'm going to want to save a little bit. So if you got some staunch opinions or might be like, oh, I've been kicking this around, I wanted to do it, I kind of want to save it for our special guests too so we can have their opinions a little bit. The game, Ohio State, Michigan. I really. You did end up making a play.
did make a
Actually,
play.
I know where you're going to go. I don't even need to question it. I know you're taking
you, though?
Ohio State -7.
No.
Oh my gosh, I am
Dude.
befuddled. Partner, please let me know, what is the play you're taking out of Ohio State and Michigan?
I had to take Michigan plus 7.5, both college football and the NFL. These massive games where the money is pouring all over the favorite, and they make it easier for that team to cover and sometimes go down to 7, 6.5, 7. That underdog side has covered in these spots. I almost want to say 100% of the time. I'm sure I'm talking to my ass by saying 100%, but it's pretty damn close to that, man. And I've got no interest in falling into whatever this Ohio State trap appears to be. And I'm trusting it, man. I don't know if I can make 2 cents about it. I honestly don't. But I'm taking Michigan plus the 7.5. Man, I'm taking them.
Okay, well, that's all I needed to get in the boat. It is locked in. All right, well, thank you, good sir. I appreciate it, because I was really thinking that you were going to go to Ohio State with this one, just with how much of the homer you've been on him this year. And then, I mean, I saw Circa, shout out Circa Sports, drop the line from 8 down to 7 last night. And then, oh my guy, shout out Jeff Benson, liked the tweet. I said, stop giving me fucking reasons to take the points. I don't want to do it, but I know it's the right side. Shout out Anthony Sparks as well. We're taking the Michigan Wolverines plus 7.5. RMags' first best bet. It's not my best bet. It's all his. But now you see it down there in the ticker. We'll be live updated the entire time. All right, partner. Looks like you're a little frozen-faced, but now you're back. That was a funny-ass fucking face, so I'm sure they got some good laughs out of that one. We'll definitely talk about that.
One of these times my audio is going to stick around, and you're just going to hear me in the background. Son of a bitch!
All right, let's keep it moving. Oh, I fucking love it. Let's keep it moving, keep it grooving. Houston versus UConn. I don't even want to waste any more breath on that game. I'm good.
I don't got anything else until 2:30 for college football.
I don't either. Actually, my card doesn't even kick off until 2 o'clock. So we'll just kind of keep it moving, and we'll stop on anything too if there's something that comes up as far as value. But for the essence of time, definitely let's just keep it moving and grooving. Wanted to make sure, 2:30 is when my card starts. So let's just keep it moving. Man, I really wanted to play in this one. Wake Forest at Boston College. Ooh, Boston College getting 5 points at home. Wake Forest has been far and away the better team, but I think this is the spot that I would take Boston College. I just didn't have the yawns to do it once again and get burned. So I'm going to stay away.
Same with me. So we haven't really mentioned this person, but Kelly Vegas has been dropping some massive college football parlays that have been working out really well this year. This is one of the legs on them. I actually tailored a parlay this week, and this is one of the legs, Boston College plus 5.5. Okay. I think I'm just going to keep it right there. I'm not going to make a straight play on it, kind of for some of the reasons that you said, but I do like Boston College. It seems like, because we've been in the spot a few times where it's like, everyone thinks Wake Forest is that team. They're that good, 9-2. They're going to smoke through this team. Right. And it looks like a trap. And I think 2 or 3 out of 4 times they've covered that number anyways. So I'm going to stay away from it straight up.
All right. And then we'll talk about it, I'm sure, once we get to it. But I know it was Boston College and Oregon State. I'm forgetting the third leg. What was the Cal. Okay, so we'll definitely talk about it. But I think I might be tailing that as well. Sorry if we mush it. Oops. But we'll take Boston College plus 5.5. Next one, I wanted a little action out of this one because I just don't think that Liberty should be favored. Army going to Liberty. Army getting 3.5 at on the road. I think that their running game should really give them some help in this game, and I think they control the tempo. I think Liberty struggles to cover that number, man, and I would really like Army plus the 3.5. If you guys love a play out of that game, not my play, not making anything in that game, but that is where I would lean for sure.
Man, you got me interested. Now, I didn't look too deep into it, but I like Army because especially when they're not playing one of these Power 5 teams, Wisconsin, Wake Forest, that they've lost to, they can play a few different styles of football. I mean, I just mentioned they lost to Wake Forest. They still put up 56 points on them. They can do it just about any style of game. So I'm really interested in now that you mentioned it.
Most def. How about a little Saturday action? I got nothing on it. Miami, Ohio, Kent State Golden Flashes. We know action is a lot different during the week than the weekend. Anything from you?
No, sir. I got no action. Like you said, I'm not a Saturday action guy, but I'm at least interested to see these lines.
Same here. Big Ten, any action from you here, sir? The homer himself, the resident Big Ten homer of the TTL crew, Maryland Terrapins at the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Rutgers getting 1.5 at home. Anything from you?
I am interested in Rutgers, but yeah, I'm staying away from now. I am interested in Rutgers, though, if I'm being honest.
All right. I would be interested in that under 53 as well.
Sure.
Neither team can really seem to put the ball in the end zone the last few weeks here.
Right.
A little more action for you. Akron Zips, Toledo Rockets. Rockets laying 4.5 touchdowns at home, 28.5. No thanks. I'll skip it. Navy at Temple. No real value here from me. Total has dropped down from 43.5 to 42.5. So, hey, Service Academy under wagon, maybe. But, again, nothing for me in this matchup. Nope. Okay. Oh, I wanted to go back to them so damn bad, and they lost the hook in my direction, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Texas Tech Red Raiders versus the whole Baylor Bears. I can't do it. I want Texas Tech so bad, plus the 14.5. It's down to 14 at market consensus right now, but I can't do it. Oh, man, I really, really like Texas Tech and the Red Raiders and everything they got turning around over there, but oh, yeah, I think it's a setup.
I think so, too. I'm staying away, and I think the reason you should stay away, they lost 23-0 to Oklahoma State. I put Baylor in a similar company. Maybe not quite. I think Oklahoma State's a little bit better, but similar style of play at least.
Sure, 100%. Miami at Duke. Duke has proven to be a bit of a formidable foe, at least against the spread when playing at home. They're getting 21 points. Any value or interest from you there, especially against kind of what seems to be a broken Miami squad?
No, sir. Like you said, though, they have at least something to make you look at it twice, but no, I'm out on them. I mean, they have on the road, they've been rough, so it's tough to call how they've been playing. Maybe they will come back home and beat them nice. I don't know.
Beat them, not weed them, either way.
Stumbling on my words.
There you go. Next game, Louisiana Tech at Rice. I got no thoughts, any opinions there. UTSA, UNT. I got nothing there. We obviously know the wagon that UTSA has been, but I'm good on that too. Charlotte at Old Dominion. I just don't think that Old Dominion is a 9.5-point favorite over anybody, and we backed Charlotte a few times, and it's been pretty successful for us here on this show, but I can't get all the way in the boat with the Charlotte 49ers. Nothing else from me there. Looks like same from your side of the screen. Texas State at Arkansas State. Nice little Sun Belt matchup. Anything from you?
No, sir.
Nothing from
me either. Wish it was a Friday night.
Yeah, me too. This one, I also wish it was a Thursday or Friday night. Troy at Georgia State. Georgia State laying 6.5 at home. I really like Troy plus the 6.5. Just feels like too many points, but honestly couldn't bring them on the show to you and really give you any reason as to why you should back them other than it seems like too many points. So I decided to stay away, and typically the smartest thing to do when you can only come up to one reason as to why you should back a team. But what the hell do I know? It's not like we do this for a living or anything. Georgia Southern against Appalachian State. The Mountaineers laying 24.5 at home. Anything from you in that Fun Belt matchup?
No, sir.
Okie dokie, me neither. UMass at New Mexico State. If this was a college basketball game, I'd be all over this nonsense, especially with UMass getting 6.5 points. That is just the... If I could ask for a college basketball pick, that would be it. But going to stay away from this for college football. FIU, Southern Miss. Southern Miss has kind of been sneaky, flying under the radar here the last few weeks, but have got to cover it too. I don't know that they deserve to be laying 13.5 points at home against the FIU Panthers, though, my friend.
Like you said, last two weeks they've covered, but yeah, I don't know about that one.
Me neither. Nothing from me in that one. Hawaii at Wyoming. Shout out Josh Allen. Big win on Thursday night. Wyoming laying 10.5 against the Rainbow Warriors. Rainbow Warriors have kind of become your faux darlings if you need a little extra sweat. Anything from you, sir?
My darlings, only if they play past the Central Standard Hour of 10 p.m., not a afternoon darling of mine.
150%. I concur. Okay, my friend, here we go. Now we're back into it. A little bit of statistics, a little bit of analysis. Next game on tap, Penn State Nittany Lions going against Michigan State Spartans. This game is in East Lansing. And partner, I know you have a play. I really hope you're on the right side and don't stick your foot in your mouth for the second week in a row. But my friend, what do you got for the play out of this matchup?
My friend, so the value has honestly lost itself from where I found it at. I caught Penn State at -1.5, and
I'm actually surprised.
I'm in love with that number. Yeah, I'm in love with it there. It has since jumped up, and this is over the last couple of hours, to 3.5, 4. I'm much more tentative at that number. Gun to my head, I'd probably still take it, gun to my head, but I would probably be more closer to a stay away there. I still trust their defense, man. Still really trust their defense. I think this is going to be a tight game, and I think they get it out edged out at the end. Michigan State maybe a little demoralized after what just happened to them last week. Kind of still trying to figure out where to go from here. So I love it at -1.5. I think it's going to be a close game, though, so I don't love it there at 4.
Okay, so we'll put down -1.5, and then if you guys do want to play that again, be tentative. Anything over -3, I would say as well. Definitely seems to be a game that's probably going to end right at 3. So there you go. There you have it. RMags next play. Can't bet on it and decided not to wear the hat because they lost last week against Iowa. I thought I was the good luck charm. U of I laying 6.5 to Northwestern. They did cover. Snuck in the back door. Absolutely love it. But can't bet the game, so no real reason to talk about it. Next one up, Oregon State at Oregon. Now, my friends, I do have a play. Partner, do you have a play?
I also have a play on this one.
Oh, boy. I hope we're not opposing. I feel like we might be, but I hope we're
on
not.
The same side.
Okay, I hope so. Oregon State Beavers going against the Oregon Ducks, my friends, and I'm going to the Oregon State Beavers +7.5. Okay, my partner,
yes,
as
sir.
well.
Yes, sir.
Much like you said earlier with Ohio State and Michigan, I think these 7.5s are going to be kind of set up in a half here today. There is no reason in my mind for Oregon to be a touchdown or more favored over anybody. They're 4-7 ATS in 2021. Give me a freaking break. I know you'll probably have more than I will on this as far as a few key stats. I honestly think that this will kind of come down to a rushing game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Oregon State is 6th in rushing yards per game, and Oregon is 21st in rushing yards per game. So I give it just a slight edge to Oregon State. I think they ground and pound back and forth all game long. This will be a rainy kind of Oregon type of day. It's not going to be a beautiful, wonderful game during game time, but I think that's kind of how we see it shake out. Partner, I'll dish out some trends and then let us know how you see this one shaking out. Oregon State 10-1 ATS last 11 as a road dog, 7-2 ATS last 9 following a straight up win, and Oregon State 6-0 ATS last 6 versus a team with a winning home record. Oregon 2-9 ATS last 11 as a favorite, 1-6 ATS last 7 as a home favorite, and Oregon State 4-2 ATS last 6 meetings, 5-1 ATS last 7 meetings in Oregon. What say you about the Beavs?
I love the Beavs today, my man, at this number.
Same.
I don't know that they get this one done outright. I think it's just going to be a really nice, close game in here, this one. The only thing I will add to this one that you didn't mention is Oregon State actually has an edge in their passing offense compared to Oregon's passing defense. Kind of like we saw last week. And Oregon State's just been playing some really solid ball, home or away here. And obviously it's not a far travel here. Won their last couple of games over Arizona State and Stanford. Stanford's obviously pretty down, but Arizona State, that was a really nice win over them. That's got me feeling like the Beavers are kind of on the same level as this Oregon Ducks team. I've been kind of all year, not a full fade trade of the Oregon Ducks, but I just think they're overvalued. That number is not indicative of where or how good this team actually is, and I think should be a 4.5 point spread in favor of the Ducks, not 7.5.
10-4. I'm with you. There you go. You see it in the ticker. Both me and Mags, Oregon State +7.5. 21 college football games remaining. 21 college football games remaining. Here we go. The final countdown. It's the final countdown.
I'm loaded at 2:30, dude.
Here's the next fucking game. It's Alabama at Auburn, Maine. Alabama laying 20.5 this afternoon. What say you, Mr. Magnuson?
My friend, I'm going to the over in this game in the
Holy
Iron Bowl.
shit.
One of my favorite games of the year. From a fan perspective, I want to take Auburn. No disrespect to Alabama. I'm staying away because I think Alabama smokes them. But I want to see an entertaining game here. But nonetheless, I do think there's going to be a lot of points.
Roll damn Tide. Roll damn Tide.
I think it's going to be pretty similar to what we saw from Alabama's game last week against Arkansas. I don't think the 20.5 in the dog spot for Auburn is a bad play here, especially with Auburn at home. You and I have been joking about in certain spots where Bo Nix, home and away, is a totally different guy. And I think he can have some success, and I definitely think they're going to have enough success to put up enough points to go push this game over. And Alabama's going to be Alabama on offense. They've been steamrolling teams. 42 points last week, 59 against New Mexico State. Whatever, obviously, but it clearly kind of did its job as far as building some confidence on the offensive side of the ball. So I think we see it again. Auburn hasn't been playing a lick of defense the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's burned people who's been taking their spread, but one thing they have been doing is putting up the points. So give me the over. What is it, 57.5? I think I got the number at.
Over 57.5.
Over 57.5.
We'll say Alla versus Aub over 57.5. Not 575, because that would be kind of fucking hard. All right.
As far
it's
I know you're biased, obviously, but as far as the spread, do you lean Bama or?
Fuck no, I lean Auburn plus 20.5.
Okay.
The Iron Ball is always fucking nonsense, but I'll never bet against my boys. So,
fair enough.
Enough slander of roll damn tide, and let's keep it moving, keep it grooving. Next one up on tap, I do have a play out of this one. Western Kentucky Hilltoppers going against the Marshall Thundering Herd. And my friends, au contraire to popular belief, I don't give a shit what everybody else says. I'm going to the opposite side. Give me the Marshall Thundering Herd minus 1.5. Everyone seems to think that Western Kentucky is just going to come out here and roll the Thundering Herd. And even the experts really think that this is the play. You know, 70% of bets, 41% of money. When I first wrote this, now it's kind of evened out back to about 65-65 bets and money. Severe public side. Everybody seems to think it's getting done. You know what happens when I see that. Everybody zigs, I zag, my friends. There's a couple of key reasons. Now, WKU might be good offensively, but really, who the fuck have they played defensively? FAU, Rice, Middle Tennessee, Charlotte, FIU, Old Dominion, all of those are wins. How about their losses? UTSA, Michigan State, Indiana, Army, all much more formidable defenses, which Marshall has, my friend. 17 versus the pass, which I think is going to limit Bailey Zappi. That is Western Kentucky's quarterback. I think they have plenty of success against him here today. 107th versus the rush and 21st in points per game allowed. They're only allowing 19 points per game at home. I love Marshall to absolutely roll on defense. And I think more people should be talking about their offense. They're 9th in total yards, 11th in passing yards, 67th in rushing yards, and 24th in points per game this season. That's going up against Western Kentucky defense that's 97th in total yards, 113th versus the pass, 68th versus the rush, and 78th in points per game allowed. They're allowing 29.2 points per game on the road. Give me all of the Thundering Herd to absolutely thunder all up and down the hilltops today, my friend. You don't believe me? Believe the trends. Marshall, 4-1 ATS last 5 is a favorite. 4-1 ATS last 5 Conference USA games. WKU might be 4-1 ATS in last 5 meetings, but that sure feels like an expert trend to me because Marshall is 4-1 straight up in the last 5 meetings overall. Marshall hasn't won by less than 3 points in those meetings, and I do believe that this is the exact spot that WKU lets bettors down once again. Give me the Marshall Thundering Herd minus 1.5.
I'm with you, my man. I like it. I didn't. This is not my realm of college football that I dive too deep into.
I love it.
Thursday or Friday night. I'm with you, my man. I love everything you nailed on there.
Absolutely.
I got it at -2 here. I'm backing you all the way.
Let's go. There you go. There you have it. And also, don't worry about the Thundering Herd at home. 1-4 ATS. It's because they've been double-digit favorites. And how many times have I said on this show, do not back the Thundering Herd as double-digit favorites? -1, +1, dogs all the way. There you go. There you have it for today. Nothing from me. The next matchup, Indiana and Purdue. Oh, you do. What say you, my friend?
I do. I'll admit this is one of my lower confidence. I got 3/4 units on this one, but I'm taking the Hoosiers plus the 15. I think this line is just a little inflated. I think it's a few too many points. I've been ragging on Indiana in certain spots here, but I just think this is way too many points for a Purdue team that's been a darling in a handful of spots, but this isn't a darling spot. Being favored by 15, that's not a spot where darlings cover. Kind of like you just mentioned with the Thundering Herd. When you got a close spread in a game where it's a mediocre Big Ten against this Purdue team, or they're a dog against a big opponent, not including Ohio State, then sure, Purdue's a good team to back. But I think with the 15 points here, finally the lack of respect coming towards Indiana's way that they haven't been seen in these spots. I think Indiana's the play here. I think it's going to be a closer game. I think Purdue gets the win. No disrespect at all, but I think Indiana covers this one plus 15.
For sure. Well, there you go. Indiana gets the cover per Mags. His next best bet of the day, Indiana plus 15. All right, there you go. There you have it. Now, partner, let's keep it steaming just a little bit faster here. A few games left, about halfway through the rest of the college football slate. I only have 2 plays left. My next play, we'll skip over Vanderbilt, Tennessee. I really don't have anything there. Excuse me. And then the next one I got is Virginia Tech and Virginia. And then how many plays do you have outside of that? Because I know we line up on one more as well out of Oklahoma.
I've got
and Oklahoma
3
State.
left.
Okay. So I'll just skip right through it. We won't talk about any of the other games here. If you guys got any questions on any of the games live, just drop them down and we'll answer any questions on those if you're trying to find some value. But next game up on tap, I got to play out of Virginia Tech at Virginia, my friends. And I am taking Virginia Tech plus the 6.5. Give me the Hoks. This is way too many points. I think this is just the exact same thing that we've been talking about all day with Michigan, Ohio State, then with Oregon State and Oregon, and I think we're talking about it here again with Virginia and Virginia Tech. This game might not be at Lane Stadium, but I really don't think that matters either way. Virginia Tech has actually handled business in the previous meetings against Virginia, but let's stick a pin in that. I'll close things out with that thought. UVA has the offense. Virginia Tech has the defense. The defense for Virginia Tech is what allows them to stay in this game. They also have a severe rushing edge. Now, obviously, Virginia, they have a solid passing attack. I'm blanking on the quarterback right now. I've talked about him time and time again. Armstrong, he's been very solid. Obviously, Bronco Mendenhall is going to have the boys ready, but I think Virginia Tech is going to control this game with their rushing attack. They're 51st in the nation in rushing offense. Virginia is only 121st in the nation in stopping the rush on defense. So I think we see that be a critical part of Virginia Tech's success here today. I'm not saying they get it done outright, but I do think they control time of possession and they keep this well within 6.5. There's not a whole lot of key critical trends you want to see as far as Virginia or Virginia Tech, so I redirect you back to the head-to-head trends. Virginia Tech, 6-4 ATS last 10 meetings, 4-1 ATS last 5 meetings. Virginia Tech 9-1 straight up in the last 10 meetings with Virginia. As a matter of fact, Virginia Tech lost in 2019 and 1999. There are only 2 losses against Virginia in the last 22 years, my friends. They're getting 6.5 points. Get the fuck out of here. Give me the Virginia Tech Hokies plus 6.5 for my third best bet of the day.
I'm interested, my man. Virginia's been good to me this year, but they've been a shell of themselves the last couple of weeks. You've got me interested, but I'm staying away so far.
What really did it for me is Virginia beating them twice since 1999. That just blew my mind. And you're giving me a touchdown?
Honestly.
Fucking, I'll take it all day long. Nothing for me, Tulsa Southern Methodist. Anything from you?
No, sir.
All right. Let me update this here actually as well with my other picks so you guys see that. Virginia Tech plus 6.5. Love the plus 7 too, but I don't think we need that hook. There you go. There you have it. Arizona State. Nothing from me in that one.
No, sir.
UL Monroe, ULL, Lafayette Raging Cajuns. No, sir.
No, sir.
Wisconsin going into Minnesota, laying a touchdown. I thought he would have a little action in this one. He does not. We're going to keep it steaming. We got to keep it to get into college basketball because we'll stay here forever talking about this Big Ten matchup. Middle 10 versus FAU. I got nothing there. Nope. Texas A&M at Louisiana State. I know you got to play out of this game, partner. Game is in Baton Rouge. Total set at 47. Tigers getting 6.5 at home. What say you?
So this is my other one that's one of my lower confidence ones, but I'm still taking it 3/4 units. I took the Aggies minus 6.5. I'm not sure if my eyes are deceiving me, but it is potentially dropping even further than that. I'm a little nervous about this one, I'll be honest, but I think A&M's the much better team here. I think they still have a little bit of a statement to make to obviously not crash the college football playoff party, but potentially where they're ranked, they still have a chance of getting into a really nice bowl game. If they lose or don't win convincingly, even that's going to be out the window. So I'm kind of banking on that. Their defense to really show up today. Their defense has been what's winning them money. Or winning people money for that matter. And I think that's going to be the case today. I'm a little nervous about it, though, if I'm being totally honest.
Most definitely. I saw you play this one, and I really wanted to get all the way in the boat with TAMU, man, but didn't do it, and I'm kind of glad I didn't with that line movement, I'll be honest with you, as you mentioned, too. So, obviously, that is on the table. So, let's Let's keep it moving, keep it grooving. West Virginia at Kansas. I got nothing in that game. Don't imagine you do either. Nope. Kentucky at Louisville. Now, I know you got a little bit of a play here. I wanted to take the side you have taken, but just got burned one too many times this year by the opposing side. So please tell us, partner, what say you about Louisville laying 3 at home and a total of 57.5 against the Kentucky Wildcats?
Yeah, it is interesting. This was one of your teams for quite a while. They burned you, and now I'm back on them. I just think they're the better team in this matchup. It's Kentucky, Louisville. Louisville, this line has been at this spot because they've been tormenting a couple of bad ACC defenses, and their offenses looked really good. That's not going to be the case here against Kentucky. And Kentucky has had a couple of weeks where nobody's really been paying attention to them. They handled Vanderbilt, the doormat of the SEC, handled them 34-17. Didn't cover, so that kind of deflates their lines, inflates whatever the opposite way you want to call it. Mm-hmm. And then had a bye game essentially last week against New Mexico State. So the eyes haven't been there, and I think people have kind of forgotten about them. But I think they're the better team in this matchup. I'd honestly be interested in taking their money line, but I went safe and took the +3. Looks like it's down to +2.5. But I still like the spread in this one. I like the Wildcats to take care of business on the road.
Yeah, I'm backing you, man. I'm gonna get back in the boat, but it's not my play; it's yours. So we'll make sure the gambling gods hear that.
Fair enough.
Next game up on tap. We're on the same side, and I do believe this is our last play of the college football slate. Yeah. So this will be Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. We'll wrap things up there. We have nothing for Pittsburgh, Syracuse, Tulane, Memphis, Clemson, South Carolina. One of our guests does have a play for Notre Dame at Stanford. Another one of our guests has a play for Nevada at Colorado State. Okay. And then nothing for Cal at UCLA or BYU at USC. So let's wrap up the college football slate with Oklahoma going into Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State laying 4.5 at home. Oh my gosh, the Sooners are dogs. We have to take the Sooners, Max. Can you freaking be kidding me? No way we can pass up on them as dogs, right? No, I certainly can. I will be taking the Oklahoma State Cowboys -4.5, as I know my partner will, my friend. Let me tell you why. There's a couple of reasons why the Pokes are favored, and it's honestly because, number one, they're better than Oklahoma. They're just a more well-rounded, well-oiled machine than Oklahoma has been, and Oklahoma really sputtering the last few weeks. I know we've gone back and forth with this over the course of the entire college football season, partner, but earlier on in the weeks, it was like, Oklahoma's coming around, they're coming around, and now all of a sudden, Mags is in the boat with me, and Oklahoma ain't worth a shit, and we're both on Oklahoma State. I think what makes the difference, my friend, is Oklahoma State's defense. They're third in total yards allowed, 9th against the pass, 4th against the rush, and 3rd in points per game allowed. I think they get a turnover or two, and that allows them to win this game comfortably by at least a touchdown. Oklahoma State, here's some trends for you. 9-0 ATS, last 9 overall. 9-0 ATS, last 9 versus a Big 12 opponent. And 4-0 ATS, last 4 as a home favorite. Throw out the historical trends and previous trends because this is a historical year for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. And if they get this win by a touchdown or more, which we believe they do, this definitely solidifies them for at least a bowl game at the bare minimum. So, partner, what do you got on this matchup?
My man, I'm echoing a lot of what you said. I obviously was on that, let's wait and see what Oklahoma is. Not only, I still think they're a good football team, but obviously not the team that we expected them to be. And I think this is the perfect matchup for Oklahoma State and their defense, and what they can do offensively kind of exploits what Oklahoma doesn't do too well on defense. Oklahoma State can match them passing game, especially given what their defense will do against that offense. It's not going to be your typical Big 12 shootout. I don't know what this total is set at, 49.5. I don't know the last time I've seen one of these games under a 60-point total, let alone right under 50. So I think this is going to be a grindy, scrappy Oklahoma State defense showcase in this one. And like you said, I think they get it done by a touchdown or more here. And people are going to be sad that they took the Oklahoma Sooners. Probably going to be a lot of people taking them on their money line.
Hell yeah.
Not going to be us today.
No, sir. There you go. There you have it. Let me make sure I get it in the ticker so it is all there ready to rock and roll. Usually I'm the one with the shitload of college football plays, but you got more than me this week, partner. So there you go. There you have it. My college football plays, Mag's college football plays, all in the ticker for you here now. Okay, so that does it for the entire college football slate. The Maryland Terrapins and the Louisville Cardinals have tipped off. Louisville has scored the first points 2-0, but that's all right because The Maryland Terrapins are going to the line. Charity stripe, first 2 shots of the day. They shoot 71.8% from the free throw stripe, where Louisville only shoots 65.6%. Didn't toss that in my analysis, but figure it would be great to mention that right here and right now. Okay, so about 20 minutes till our honorable guests join us, dish out a couple of picks, hang out for a little while, talk some shit, have a little bit of discussions about maybe some games we want to potentially find some value in. So, all that being said, my friends, free throw 1 of 1 made. All right, I gotta fucking close that or else someone will just be watching that the whole fucking time. All right, so let's get into it. We won't spend as much time game by game on this one. That way we save a little bit of a time here. But let me flip on over to college basketball. And my friends, here we go. Let them have it. Partner, I'll go a little bit quicker than usual, but St. Francis, Brooklyn, North Carolina A&T, yay or nay?
No, sir.
Me neither. St. Peter's Peacocks at the Providence Friars, no, sir. Me
No, sir.
either. Jackson State at ULL. If this was a little college football game, I might be thinking about taking Deion Sanders' boys plus the 12, but not in this one. Montana State versus Incarnate Word. I got nothing out of this one, but I would tell you to stay the fuck away from Montana State if you're thinking about laying those points. They're bottom of the barrel, Big Sky, and not a team that you want to back in that spot. Right. Next game up, we do have a play. Richmond Spiders versus the Mississippi Bulldogs. Love the value line move we've seen on this so far this morning. Partner, may I be so kind as to tell everybody what we're lining up on here today?
Please go right ahead.
We're taking the Mississippi Bulldogs. -1.5. It's up to -2.5. Looks like across consensus, most books right now. But I think it's just fine to take that at -2.5 as well. Looks like you're in agreement with me too, partner. Couple key reasons as to why. As far as offensive and defensive efficiency, Mississippi State 55th in AOE, 49th in ADE, and 28th in opponent expected field goal percent on the defensive side of the ball. I'll tell you why I mentioned that, because Richmond is not very good in that statistical category. They may be 35th in AOE, but they're 116th in ADE and 293rd in opponent expected field goal percent. That is disgusting. I think
regression, maybe.
Oh, regression. I think Mississippi State controls this game with their tempo. I said it earlier in an analysis with the Terrapins. Richmond doesn't really blow the doors off of anybody. 123rd in tempo, but Mississippi State 286. So I think they get a lead and slow this game way down. Last thing for me is the rebounds. Richmond 284th in offensive rebounding percent, 167th in defensive rebounding percent per KenPom. And again, per KenPom, Mississippi State 61st in offensive rebounding percent and 82nd in defensive rebounding percent. I think that Mississippi State's ability to clean up the boards really is going to play heavy in their favor today. But you don't believe me, believe the trends. Before I kick it over to my partner, Mississippi State 5-0 ATS, last 5 following an ATS loss. 44-20-1 ATS, their last 65 following a straight-up loss. And Mississippi State 41-20 ATS, last 61 Saturday games. Don't believe this overvalued just because Mississippi State took a rough loss to Louisville. Take all of the Bulldogs, -2.5. Partner, anything else from you, sir?
No, that last thing that you mentioned was my one of my bigger points as far as being just the line being deflated because of that loss to Louisville that we were talking about. Talking about Louisville earlier, and I don't think Louisville is good enough for them to move that line like that. I think it was just a rough game for Mississippi State, and I think they handled business here in a matchup that I think is just everything's pointing towards Mississippi State. I'm sure we'll have Richmond on our cards in different spots than this, but this isn't the one for Richmond. Give us the damn Bulldogs all day long.
Most def. All right, let's keep it moving. Keep it grooving. Fisher College, UMass Lowell. I got nothing. Next one up. Oh, shit, I actually do have something out of this one. And, I think this is all bass backwards. Indiana State at Ball State. Ooh, actually, let me update this. I apologize. So you guys, in case you missed anything there. So MISSST. -1.5. Fine at -2.5 as well, my friends. So there you go. There you have it. All right, save that. Send it back on down the line. Okay. As for the Sycamores and Cardinals, I think this line is all bass backwards, my friends, and I'm going to the Indiana State Sycamores -1.5. I think ISU is being severely undervalued. I'm sorry, the wrong ISU. Roll Birds, because they have had back-to-back losses. Hey, shout the fuck out there, partner. Ball State is due for a letdown, in my opinion. They just had a huge win, 89-86, over UMass as 7.5-point dogs. Now they're down to +1.5 dogs. I think everybody's, oh my gosh, they're a dog again. We have to take them. They're going to outright win, no question. Now they're plus money. I think you need to take a little bit of a step back on that and check out some of the key numbers. Overall rank and efficiency are where it really comes down for me. Ball State, 238th in adjusted offensive efficiency, 286th adjusted defensive efficiency, and 271st rank per KenPom. ISU, 162nd in AOE, 181st in ADE, and 166th rank per KenPom. Tempo really doesn't matter in this one because both teams run the court very, very well. They actually are both high-paced, high-powered teams, but with ISU having the efficiency edge, I think this is where you need to look. I also think that turnovers are going to be a big factor here. I think ISU is really going to take care of the ball, really value their possessions, and make the most out of them. They're 85th in turnover percent on the offensive side of the ball. Ball State offensively, though, 219th in turnovers. So I think they have a few more turnovers, and as we know in college basketball, that can be all it is winning the turnover battle wins you a game in one of these +-1 spots. I love ISU here, but you don't believe me, believe the trends. ISU 7-1 ATS last 8 as a favorite, 5-1-1 ATS last 7 as a road favorite. They're 4-1 ATS last 5 following a straight-up loss. Ball State 2-5 ATS last 7 as a home dog, 1-4 ATS last 5 Saturday games, and 0-4 ATS last 4 following an ATS win. Don't take the overvalued Cardinals. Rock with me in the Sycamores, -1.5 for my third best college basketball bet of the day.
All right, I'm interested, but staying away so far. I am interested. I'm interested you went there. I like it.
Yeah, it was one that was sliding under the radar, and I think people are really overvaluing Ball State there. So, there you go. There you have it. Nothing from me in Marist at Army. Anything from you?
No, sir.
Okay. Jacksonville State at Elon. I got nothing. I didn't see anything from you.
No, sir.
Absolutely. Copen State at East Carolina.
Well, my man, these Copen State Copers are really killing the game these days.
Fucking Copers. There you go. There you have it. UT Martin, Western Kentucky. Nothing from me there. McNeese State at Sanford. I was interested in McNeese plus the 6.5 after electric second half they had yesterday or 2 days ago it was. But I'm going to stay a little bit tentative. I'm not all the way in the boat on the old McNeese State boys yet. So there you go. There you have it. Northern Iowa at St. Bonaventure. Anything from you, partner? St. Bonnie's coming just under the 10 at -9.5 against UNI, who just seems to be broken at all fronts.
Right. I mean, I'm staying away. I just, the way people are talking about this Northern Iowa team, it's like you would expect them to show up and start winning 5 straight. Maybe today's the day. I don't know. I'm staying way the hell away, though. I was thinking maybe they've at least found a way to cover. They've lost all 3 of their last. At least it looks like they have 1 straight up win. I imagine it's a D2 school. They are not very good. They kind of hung in there with Arkansas. Barely lost by the hook as far as their spread is concerned. Lost by 13 on the 12.5. So. Still hasn't looked great, though. I'm out on this one. I took the Bonnies last week against Marquette. That's the last game they've played, so Marquette's coming in with a nice chunk of rest. And I guess, actually, now that I say Northern Iowa is too. So get me out of this one. I'm out.
Get out of there. Get out of there. All right, let's keep it moving. Keep it grooving. Robert Morris at Davidson. Boy, I wanted the freaking Patriots +14, but I'm going to stay away. Or maybe it's the Colonels. I think it's Patriots. I'm not sure. I want to tell you right. Robert Morris is the Colonels, the Colonels. +14, Colonials, I wanted it, bad. But Colonials. The Colonials, and then the Colonels are son of a bitch, another team that we back a lot. I can't remember. There's too many doggone low, mid-majors, but I love them all. Davidson, honestly, is worthy of the 14, but is Robert Morris playing upset special on a Saturday afternoon? Maybe. I don't have enough yones to back him. Next game, oh boy, I did have a lean in this one. Oklahoma at UCF. Oklahoma -1.5 was really, really, really tempting, but there seems no reason as to why this line should be so low. So I thought, oh, UCF, let me do that. Well, then my mind flashed back to yesterday where I took UNT against Miami, and UNT had a fucking 12-point lead in the first half and lost by 9. Can you tell I'm still a little bit upset about that one? Yeah, I am. I'm not real excited, so I'm not going to dive into this one at all. I got no play. Were you on the same side as me, partner?
You nailed. I didn't have the play you mentioned to sour me on this one, but I think it is a total coin flip, and I don't think you need to try and fit yourself into this one. I think it's 50-50 either way.
Most def. So there you go. Nothing for me. Rutgers, UMass. I would lean UMass +2. Louisiana Tech, NC State. I was leaning heavily NC State -4.5, but I think that with them being 0-3 ATS, 0-5 ATS overall, 0-3 ATS at home, I'm going to stay away from that one.
Yeah, I'm out on that one.
You either. Son of a bitch. I love the UMBC Terriers so much against Pittsburgh, but I think you got to get off the fade train on Pittsburgh with this one. I think they get it done just by 6 or 7. That's why this game is at 5.5. I got to stay away from it. 5.5 has been extremely valuable for favorites so far this year. So in my mind, either you lay it or you don't play it, and I ain't interested in laying it, so I ain't fucking playing it.
Yeah, I'm out on that one.
Okay, next one up. You know, I love my my Monmouth boys, but Monmouth, but I don't think I can back them against Cincinnati. Cincinnati laying 11. Anything from you there?
No, sir.
All right, this one doesn't even have a spread, so forget that. Ooh. I got one out of this next one. Here we go. Here we have it. Ooh, you get a little refill on your coffee?
No, need a little mid-game tissue action here.
Oh, hey, there you go. No big deal. No problem. All right. You got a little helper in the back. Always got your back on that. I gotta fucking train Matilda to figure that shit out. All right, next game up, Detroit Mercy at Hofstra. My friends, give me Detroit Mercy +7.5. I really think the Titans are being undervalued here, and let me tell you why. Some point in time, Detroit has to come around, and this is not a fade for me from last week when we played Hofstra and they couldn't get it done against Richmond. Now, Detroit is 2-1-1 ATS on the road, so they have proven to be able to cover some of these bigger spreads on the road. Now, Hofstra has not been a favorite all year long. I just mentioned they couldn't hang with Richmond. They were doing well, and then they completely let the game slip away, and now they deserve to be favored by almost 4 buckets. I don't buy it at all, my friends, and I really think that they're, again, being overvalued because of their last game as well. They didn't even have a spread against the Molly Lions, and they won 87-49. +7.5 has been really valuable for underdogs so far this year. Matter of fact, a lot of 7.5-point dogs have got outright wins. I actually just talked about a team, Ball State, getting an outright win as a 7.5-point dog. I think that's what we see here today. I'm not saying they get the outright win, but I think that Detroit has more than enough to hang in. Now, when it comes to the stats, when it comes to the paper, you're not going to like Detroit Mercy. But my friends, this game is played on the hardwood, and this is gambling, not statistical measures, and not played on paper. This is going to come down to no more than 4 or 5 buckets in my mind, and there's two key things as to why I see Detroit having a decided edge. As far as height and experience, you got to dig deep. You got to look different. You got to look weird when it comes to games like this, and I think this one really matters. Detroit, 200th in height, 5th in experience. So they got an experienced team, not the tallest team in the land, but what about Hofstra? 338th in height, 110th in experience. Oh, baby, give me the Titans to just absolutely walk all over the little peasants of the Hofstra pride. You don't believe me. Believe the trends. Detroit, 5-0-1 ATS last 6 following a straight-up loss. 5-1-1 ATS last 7 Saturday games. And 5-2-1 ATS last 8 as a road puppy dog. Hofstra, 3-8 ATS last 11 as a home favorite. 0-4 ATS last 4 following a straight-up win. And 3-7 ATS last 10 home games versus a team with a losing road record. Give me the Titans to come around today against the Hofstra Pride, +7.5.
You got me in the boat, my man. I am, the last few years, I've been a fan of the Detroit Mercy Titans, man. Mm-hmm. And they've been covering. I mean, their straight-up record looks bad, but they're covering against some really good teams, man. I'm in the boat with you on this one with the 7.5, no doubt about it.
Let's go. The Titans come around once in a while, and I think this is going to be the day. So there you go. There you have it. Now, we're going to let them get set up. Going to let them get about themselves, get their cup of joe in hand, but I have been made aware that our special guests have joined us here live on set. Wonderful. So cannot wait to bring them on. We'll dive into just one or two more here games, keep it moving, keep it grooving, and then we will get it rocking and rolling with our special guest coming on. So let me tell them good morning. Just shot us a good morning. How we doing? All right. I know they can hear me, so good morning to you both. I'll bring you on here in just a second. All right. Nothing from me. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing from me. South Dakota, Nebraska, Navy, Mount St. Mary's, Western Carolina, Gardner-Webb, and Delaware State, LIU. Anything from you, my friend?
No, sir. Delaware, I think I might be mistaken on Delaware State. There was one, is it Delaware that's been playing really well?
Yeah, the Fighting Blue Hens.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not Delaware State?
No, that's just straight Delaware. Let me add, yeah, you're good. Let me add Detroit Mercy plus 7.5 into there. Love the value on the 7.5 and back in the Tigger. All right, now, before we bring in the special guest, I got one more play to lay out here for you, my friends. Going to my boys, my Big Sky babies, if you will. Northern Colorado going against Colorado State, and if you're a fan of the show, you know where I'm going. The Northern Colorado Bears plus 14, plus 14.5, plus 15. It's dropping down on most books to plus 14. I say hammer it in. I think Colorado State is being way overvalued in this spot, and I think that Northern Colorado's offense really allows them to stay in the game. They're 151st in AOE per KenPom, 86th in expected field goal percent. They're shooting 44.6 from the floor right now and 34.6 from behind the three-point arc. That's going up against a Colorado State defense that's 104th in ADE and 151st in opponent expected field goal percent. So I think Northern Colorado has more than enough firepower offensively to stay in this game. That's typically why you see some of these low mid-majors up against some of the more high mid-majors getting some of these higher double-digit spreads, and I really don't think Colorado State needs to be a double-digit favorite because they're 1-2 ATS already as a double-digit favorite this year. Again, the offense is what keeps Northern Colorado in this game. CSU's defense is being just a little bit overvalued in my mind too, but if you don't believe me, believe the trends. Northern Colorado, 20-6 ATS last 26 following an ATS loss. 15-6 ATS last 21 versus a team with a winning home record. 35-16 ATS last 51 road games. Can you say road warrior? Colorado State, 1-4 ATS last 5 at home. 1-3-1 ATS last 5 as a home favorite. And 1-4 ATS last 5 following an ATS win. Give me my Big Sky boys once again. Northern Colorado Bears plus 14.
You got me in it with you, my man. These guys know how to play close games. These are your boys. I was interested in taking it, but I figured I'd let you hammer it out of the park, and then I'll back you mid-show, which is what we've accomplished here, and I am going to be joining you with you on that one.
Okay. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate the backing. So I only have one more college basketball play left to dish out. How many do you have?
I believe I have 2.
Okay, perfect. So we'll save those to wrap up the show. I believe we line up on the play from Idaho State and Air Force.
Correct.
Okay, so we'll talk about that after. Now, it does look like our honorable guests are ready to rock and roll. So without further ado, my friends, please help me welcome in a man and a woman who we are more than honored, elated, overjoyed to call friends of ours. You've seen the young man on one of our shows before, the Wise Words podcast. He may or may not have helped us kick off the show, the inaugural edition. We'll forever be thankful for that. Let's bring him in. 13-time world champion handicapper and the young lady that sits to his left and has quickly overtaking him in the markets. I can't believe it. She is absolutely killing it. I see her laughing now. Let's bring them on in, my friends. Mr. and Mrs. Joe and Dion D'Amico. Welcome in.
Good morning, guys. Colt and Riley. It's great to be here again. And, it's funny that for so many years that I'm with my wife, she was a big part of my success over the years. And I don't know how many handicapping championships I have, and I'm known as the Las Vegas' biggest daily sports bettor. But she was always, the great and powerful Oz. There was somebody behind the curtain, and she always did it great. And she's kicking butt and taking names this season that she's gone pro as a handicapper on so many leaderboards. But I keep reminding her every day, I may have taught her everything she knows, and I haven't taught her everything I know. So the best is yet to come. I'm just glad that we could do this together. And you know what? Honestly, I know I could always suck the air out of the room, but I love it. I'm a firm believer. Forget about equal rights. God did not trust men to carry or give birth. And so I know who the stronger and smarter sexist sports fans. And I love it when women can kick butt and kick down the door in a male-dominated profession. And First Lady of Las Vegas, Dion D'Amico, is certainly doing that. And I'm proud of her.
Oh, the first man of Las Vegas, the first lady of Las Vegas combined. They're the first family of Las Vegas. I mean, it's absolutely electric. This is why we had you on. Already got us rolling, laughing this morning.
Now, I do want to ask, I've got to ask a question. Riley, Colton, I sent you guys an early Christmas present. I sent you 2 each. Forget about the Chicago backgrounds. I sent you New York and a Vegas background. I thought they'd be on early for Christmas.
Get out of town. No, you didn't.
Just kidding. I wouldn't do that.
I love it. I love it. So, hey, how was Thanksgiving? Everything good on your end? Did you guys get loaded up, get plenty of naps? What's happening over on the West Coast?
We had a fantastic Thanksgiving. We actually kept it very low-key and very relaxing. We had a friend of ours cater the whole meal for us, so the hubby here didn't even have to worry about cooking dinner because he's the cook in the house. And we sat around and had some laughs and watched football all day long.
And won all day long. I bookended. Dion had one game for the day. Later on, Fresno State.
I had Fresno State.
I had the bookend of the NFL games. I had the Lions big. I had the Bills big. Now, I will tell you, because I'm very transparent, it's very important to talk about losses as it is wins. And sometimes it's even more important to talk about them. When you win as much as we do, it sticks in my craw when we get a loss. I have to put in what we do every year. It's called the turkey shoot, and we put out, at least 3 games or 4 or 5. But you want to be on an odd number always when you're so I stuck in those Cowboys just to stick it in there. And I've got to tell you, wow, it is ugly. I saw a line outside of a store the other day. I thought they were lining up early for Black Friday deals. Turns out it's all the sports fans trying to bring back their Cowboy jerseys. Oh, my God.
You ain't right.
Horrible.
You ain't right.
Fans, I'd try to get a refund on my season ticket.
I would too. Honestly, I've been beating the drum, Joe, since week 2, week 3, that the Cowboys are overrated. I think the Star's going to be falling more faster than we believe it, and I don't know. I don't want to overstep my bounds because it's every single time that I've said, okay, yep, the Sky is falling in the Star now. It's over. It's a wrap. They come back and they win their next game by 50 points.
They're not playing anybody and being anybody really great. There's talent on the team. However, same problem this year going into week 1. They have a suspect defense. And I'm going to tell you right now, while Dak Prescott is a fun quarterback, he's not a money quarterback. Guys, there's guys that are fun. There's guys that are money. Proof is in the pudding. Guys like Tom Brady. And guys, he spent most of his career in New England. And I hate anything from the state of Massachusetts. I won't eat cream pie or clam chowder. I'll tell you that. But I will tell you this. You can't argue with the fact that the guy is money. There are guys over the years that are fun. There are guys that are money. Let me tell you something. I used to play ball in the west side of Manhattan, play basketball and pickup games. The biggest money pickup games in the world. And I can tell you, while I was in high school, now it doesn't matter because they're both come and gone. I used to see guys that played on the Georgetown Hoyas, including Patrick Ewing, come down to play money. I used to see guys like Ed Pickney from Villanova. They used to come down to play money with guys like us. Now, granted, I used to go on the court and hit a 3 once or twice. I couldn't play with those guys. Those guys were the best in the world. But there are money players and fun players. And I will or not tell you, guys like Ed Pickney and Patrick Ewing got their asses handed to them on that court because they are – no. They got their asses handed to them. My buddy, one of my dogs is going through our back. He agrees with me. I
love it.
Oh, that's okay. That happened. So the fact of the matter is, while they're great college and in Patrick Ewing's case, a great pro player, there's also money players. And I'm going to tell you this. Give me a money player any day of the week. Give me a Joe Montana. Give me a Tom Brady. Give me guys that are money 7 days a week. Not just when you're playing the worst 0-7 and 2-16. Give me guys that can win. And I'll tell you right now, Dak Prescott is fun. He'll put some stats up. But he is not a money player.
Hey. You're beating the same drum that you were beating about 8, 9, 10, even 12 weeks ago. I don't even know how long it's been since we talked to you, but we were talking about how Dak Prescott, he's going to be up in lights. He's going to be the popular name to back, but I don't necessarily know if he's that money type of quarterback that you want. So, hey, I'd love to hear that.
Colt, we are seeing, I know we're going to do some college and pro football today. That should be college and basketball and college football today.
I get where you are. It's still early. It's all right. Hey, we're sipping our Joe.
Quite a few guys in the NFL. The Lamar Jacksons and the Patrick Mahomes, who are fan favorites, people have figured them out. And what has happened, and we talked about this earlier on in the NFL season, you and I and Riley, the game has changed over the last decade. They went from run the ball, stop the run, to just air that ball out and let's forget about defense. Well, you know what? People said we got to stop some of these teams from scoring 30, 35 points a game. Right. And what certain defenses did was step up. They figured out how to stop or at least contain the Patrick Mahomes and the Lamar Jacksons, and they started running the ball so you can control the clock, keep defenses on the field, keep their offenses off of it. And their offense players like Mahomes and Jackson can't get into a rhythm. That's why you're saying they're very good athletes. I'm not going to argue that. But give me a guy that can read defenses. Give me a pocket passer, a guy that's a team leader that looks at the other 10 guys in the huddle, a minute 20 on the clock, 96 yards to go, and he says, we're friggin' scoring. And they believe him. Give me a Joe Montana. Give me a Tom Brady, because I'll beat you every time.
Hey, if you guys don't know already, Joe D'Amico never changes. When he says something, he sticks to it. When he lets something escape out of his brain, he means it, my friend. So if you didn't tune into Wise Words, we're talking the same exact things. I love how you kind of topped it off there with give me a pocket quarterback. That was one of the main things we talked about back a few weeks ago too. So
listen, I have a lot of friends that come around here, and even some up and coming handicappers that have moved to town this season. They hang out. And everybody's the GOAT. Everybody's top 5 all time. Listen, with all respect, and these guys are great athletes to get to the level they are. I'll give them that. No problem there.
Sure.
Do something once, you're lucky. Do something twice, you're lucky. Do something over a decade, you're great. And I haven't seen some of these guys who are highlight reel guys on the sport. Let me tell you, do it again and again and again and again. Then you're great. And not until you do it again and again. Let me tell you something. Vanilla Ice had a #1 hit. You ever hear from him again? I started doing bad Adam Sandler movies. Everybody, hey, Ice, baby. Everybody knows it.
I know.
I know. I still have my MC Hammer pants in the closet. No, but it is. You do it once, do it twice. I hear everybody's the GOAT from these young guys. He's the GOAT. Yeah. He's the GOAT.
Yeah.
There was only one GOAT in every sport. We all know who they are. And just to run them down, Ray Robinson in fights.
Oh.
Montana / Brady and there's nobody comes down Robinson in fights. No. Montana and Brady, and I'll go. If you want to go defense, there's only one GOAT on defense, and that's Lawrence Taylor. He was the only one that literally offenses used to have to work around every damn week, and they still couldn't stop him. Basketball, you can't argue, but Jordan's still going to be there. I'm a big Kobe fan. I like Kobe, but you can't argue Jordan. We could go into other sports, but there's only one GOAT. Oh, did we miss baseball? Guys, even though he's not Italian, greatest baseball player of all time, Babe Ruth. Forget about everybody else.
Forget about it.
They use a 32-ounce bat. He used a 48, a 50, a 52, a 54, and on occasion a 56-ounce bat. He swung it like a toothpick.
Hammer.
And by the way, while we were at war and went through depressions, people brought their family. They couldn't afford to eat. They brought their families to the stadium to see him because he brought this whole friggin' country. He united them, and that's something a lot of our sports heroes don't do today. Right. And I'll tell you what, hats off to him. He's not Italian, but he's still the greatest.
I love it. Do you guys now see why we chose to have these two amazing people on this show here? We don't even have to talk. We just absolutely get going into rabbit holes. We don't need any topics. We don't need any starters. We just get going right after it. So thank you guys again so much for stopping and hanging out with us.
While we were in the waiting room, I got to tell you, Riley, I know I sucked the air out of the room, but while we were in the waiting room, we were listening to Colton speak. I looked to my wife. I said, if I ever have bad news come from a doctor, I want Colton to give it to me. Because they can tell me you got about 2 weeks to live. And if Colton says, I'm like, yeah, what are we doing for the next 13 days? I would be so happy. Great voice. I love listening to you guys.
Hey, maybe I chose, and me and Mags both chose the right profession here in this one. So, hey, one thing we haven't accomplished, you just took your sip. to me, to you two down there, to you on the opposite side of the screen, partner, cheers to all of you. You see, I got my pothead cup rocking and rolling.
Most definitely.
Big fan of the caffeine in the morning. Cheers to all of you. Take your sip. Let's get back on with it.
Cheers. Like, I need coffee.
Yeah, this guy needs more coffee.
Yeah, right. I need some Thorazine. Lots of stuff. We got free games here. We got college basketball, college football, anything you want.
Let's do a little bit of that. I know you guys got a couple of college football plays, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we have dished out all of ours. We got them down there rocking in the ticker. What I'll do is I'll add you guys in there as well, and I'll do Joe and Deion's free plays. So correct me if I'm wrong. I believe, Joe, yours is out of Notre Dame at Stanford.
Absolutely.
And Deion, you're Nevada at Colorado State.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, all right. Well, hey,
love it.
Whoever wants to kick it off, whoever thinks they're going to dominate in the battle of the sexes here today, hopefully it's a 2-0 clean sweep. Either way, whoever wants to rock and roll, let's get a couple of free college football plays dished out.
All right. So I'll go ahead and start it off since I am the first lady.
Oh, yeah. There you go. There you go. I would expect nonetheless. We are not worthy. We are not worthy.
So I'll go ahead and give out my first one. So living in Nevada for 30 years, I know the in-state teams pretty well. The last time Colorado State had a victory, whether it be straight up or against the spread, was mid-October. Whatever momentum they had at the beginning of the season is long gone. One thing about the Nevada Wolfpack, they play competitive in every single contest. Coming off 2 consecutive losses, they will bounce back here. Their offense, led by Carson Strong, who, by the way, is approaching 4,000 yards passing this season, will do what they have done to any opponents this season. The 4th-ranked passing team in the nation will dissect the CSU secondary. They have covered the last 3 meetings in the series. They're also 4-1 ATS the last 5 on the road, and 17-8 ATS the last 25 overall. So guess who I'm going to take? I'm taking Nevada -4.
I absolutely love it. I had my eyes on this game, and me and Riley, we always talk about when we have a lot of games that we really want to get on the boat or all the way in the boat, and sometimes we just can't row it gently down the stream. And then we have wonderful people like you hop on and give us a play that we were both kind of eyeing, and I'm all the way in. I love Nevada minus the 3.5, and hey, if we're getting it from a Nevada resident, Nevada, I know I say it wrong either way. Give it all to me. Give it all to me. I love the 3.5. Partner, what say you?
Yeah, I'm with you. I can't add too much more. I mean, I was also interested in this one. I've been eyeing it. It sounded like Colorado State last week. I was watching that game against Hawaii. Kind of like Deion just said, they have no momentum going right now, and I don't think that's the right play. I think you got it nailed on the head right here, Deion.
I love this game.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Well, you got 2 more backers, so let's see if we got as much confidence.
Wait, we're not done yet. I'm going to one-up.
Okay. The legend has the floor. The legend has the floor. Everybody watch out. Here we go.
Legend in my own mind. Here we go, guys. Just like me, though, I'm not going to be as long-winded as some people. Just like me, I'm going to keep this one extremely short and extremely sweet, and I am short and I am sweet, guys. I may be 100% Italian, but this Saturday, I'm all about the Irish, guys. Notre Dame. As you know, they moved up to the number 5 spot in the poll with Alabama slated to play Georgia in the SEC Championship. Michigan facing Ohio State this week, and then one of those teams heading to most likely a meeting with a very hot Wisconsin team. Something I preach all season long. In today's college football game, style points are huge, and Notre Dame needs them. Both sides of the line of scrimmage, they outclass the Stanford team. Guys, let's face it, they've thrown in the towel. They dropped 6-0 straight up and against the spread. This game gets uglier than your drunk uncle at Thanksgiving dinner the other night. It's going to get ugly, trust me. He's going to unbutton his pants. His belly's going to come out. He's going to start preaching and yelling. This game's going to get ugly. They're going to crush this team. This is 28 to 35-point win for the Irish. They're going to kill it. I'm telling you right now, I'm all Italian. But today, top of the morning to you. It's all about Irish, baby. It's all about Irish, baby.
Hey, usually it's about that gabagool, but now we're top of the morning here. I absolutely fucking love it. I am all over the Irish with you as well. I don't think, and me and Riley have talked about all year long that just the Stanford trees have been so overvalued game in and game out. And just as you're like, 20 and a half. We can back them here. They're going to get blown out by 40. So I love it. I think Notre Dame is definitely the right side here. No question in my mind.
Thank you.
I love it.
We could also talk about some other things that we've got. We've got some college basketball. We could talk NBA. I don't know if I sent you an email. I can give you a free NBA. I'll give you anything you want. Heck, I'll take my shirt off. I've been working out.
Holy hell. Oh, hey, we might have an episode and a half. Let's go. Let's go. So, college football, there you go. Partner, do you have any closing thoughts on that Notre Dame Stanford? Anything you were looking at there?
No, I mean, nothing crazy to add. Notre Dame's been playing so well. We like you said, we've been talking about how bad Stanford has been, and I mean, I don't think this is enough points here. I don't know if, Joe, you would agree, but I don't think it's anywhere near enough points.
I think this is really a 28 to 35 point win, and that's if they take their foot off the gas come the late in the game. Like I said, today's game, it's back in the day, guys. So many coaches, just because they didn't like another coach or they got an ass whooping the year before, they run up scores. Then it became, let's take our foot. They really need style points here.
Oh, yeah.
If any one of those teams ahead of them in the polls takes a dip, listen, Georgia can lose to Georgia Tech, and they'll still get into the college football playoff. They would have to then lose to Alabama, too, in the SEC championship game for them to go, wait a minute, let's start talking about Cincinnati, folks. Ain't going to happen. Listen, Georgia will win today. Will they win by that huge point spread? It's in a whole other story because they don't need the style points. Notre Dame really does. They've really played well. They've gotten something I've seen this team do is they got a lot more confident as the season went on. Even with their few defeats, their one loss, I should say. Mm-hmm. You saw them gain a little confidence, got some swagger. This is a good team, and they have to go out and prove it, though. This is like them, Cincinnati. They've got to go out and prove it every week. Otherwise, they can't even be mentioned in the college football playoff. And let's just face it, this is a very people out there, they may not know that college football is a big business. College sports is a big business. Depending on the bowl game, you can make a few $100,000 for the school. You can make $7 or $8 million for the school or more. Right. And this is big business. It really is. And I really think that this is going to, I'm telling you, uglier than your drunk uncle on Facebook. We all got one of them family members, so we're all laughing.
Perfect time. You see it right below us. Joe and Dion's free picks, both right there. Nevada minus the 3, and Joe, Notre Dame minus the 20.5. So you got them right there in the ticker. You guys can add them. So outside of that, we spent the first half talking kind of college football, and then we kind of shifted the gears into college basketball here just a little bit. So I know you mentioned we talked a little bit pre-show just about some of these lines on some college basketball ones we might be able to get to talk about a little bit. Mm-hmm. Did you guys have any free plays for the college basketball slate today?
Absolutely. I have a couple. Dion's got one. Let me go first this way she can get in the middle line because I have two that really kind of stood out.
Sure.
Guys, this early in the season, getting double digits, there's a lot of value there. Teams that are overvalued, and UNLV has some talent. I'm talking about the UCLA UNLV game. Mm-hmm. I know this team well. There is talent on this team. Just can't seem to click it together. And by the way, sports fans, not because I'm a Nevada resident for 31 years, single greatest college basketball team in the history of college basketball is that Rebel team with my friends Larry and Mo and Greg. They were the greatest team in the history of college basketball. Everybody else is an amateur and they're the pros. So just want to tell you that. But
I love it.
But I want to tell you, and if UCLA had a better showing the other night, but coming off an embarrassing 20-point loss to Gonzaga team that now lost to Duke the other night, this game has got to get ugly. UCLA has to make a statement here. They have to make a statement, not just because they're going to have conference matchups coming up soon. They got to say, hey, we're still a team. We dropped from number 2. Obviously, the rankings are going to come out after the weekend. We're going to see them drop. We're going to see Gonzaga drop. You're not going to see them drop too much now because they're still Gonzaga. We can talk about them too. I mean, I still thought they were a little overrated going into the opening of the season. I don't think they should have been ranked number 1. But now a loss this early in the season, I'm ranting again, a loss this early will make them a much better team, guys. Gonzaga's a team to watch out for. Oh, yeah. But they're going to drop. UCLA needs to make a statement because they have conference opponents coming and say, hey, wait a minute. We got our asses whooped by the number 1 team in the country. So now, well, not no more.
not no more. Not after last night.
That team, I know Dion's got something from a couple of teams that she knows very well.
So UCLA minus 10.5 for your first one.
I got to go with UCLA here. And like I said, I think that this would have been a different story had UCLA made a better showing the other night, but losing by 20, they got to come out and make a statement here.
Sure enough. First Lady of Vegas, what do you got over there?
Well, I have the BYU Utah game. So how about a nice matchup between these two representatives from the Beehive State? Statistically, BYU and Utah match up pretty well here. But so far, the Cougars have played and beat better competition. And yes, the Aztecs and the Ducks.
Ducks,
I'm sorry.
See what I still make it. 21 years, I still make her nervous.
I love it.
So I'm going to go with BYU on this one.
I absolutely love it. I
gotta take the blame on that one. By the way, I was playing with our leg under the table. I'm sorry.
Oh, you guys cracked me up. No, none at all. You guys cracked me up. We would have it no other way. I was actually looking at this game. I really wanted BYU minus the 1.5, but as I always say, couldn't get all the way in the boat. And Deanna's got me once again all the way in the boat. So I'll help you row it gently down the stream. Let's get it to the pay window. I absolutely love it. I'll add it in there. Let me do CBB so we know that too. All right. Outside of that, now I did have a couple more. I'd like to get you guys' opinions on these actually, because me and Riley actually line up on one, and that is the matchup out of the Idaho State and Air Force. And then I got one more. Which one have I not dished out yet? Actually, I think that's all I actually have is just that last play. And then Mags, you had two. Was that one? And then what was your other matchup?
The Portland Pilots was my other one.
Oh my God.
Oh, have become me and this guy's low major darlings out of nowhere. They cover and win as plus 7.5 point dogs. Then they're huge dogs, and now I think minus 1.5 is the perfect spot for them to be against SEMO. And I actually think they should be like -6, -7.5 against Southeastern Missouri is what it is. But we'll get into that because I actually already added that. I'm backing you on that one. But let's talk about Air Force and Idaho State. I love the Air Force Falcons. -3.5 opened up at -2.5. Saw some sharp money, obviously steamed up to the -3.5. I would honestly take this to -5.5. I think that the Falcons absolutely dog walk the Bengals today. And why do I think that? Because I already talked about my Big Sky boys. You know that's my conference if you pay attention to the show whatsoever. Idaho State, Big Sky, they are terrible. They are so awful. It's not even funny. They make the Air Force Falcons look good. A couple of key things. Expected field goal percent is really what I see here. Idaho State, 254th offensive expected field goal percent, 325th in opponent expected field goal percent. That's going up against Air Force, 31st in expected field goal percent, and then 78th in opponent expected field goal percent. I also think that Air Force is able to get a few turnovers here. 106th in turnovers on offense, and Idaho State 319th in turnovers on, or I apologize, that's Air Force defense, and then Idaho State offense 319th in turnover percent. So I think the Falcons can lean on their defense, get a couple of key turnovers, and I mentioned it in some of my analysis earlier. If you guys can, or if a team rather, can win the turnover battle in college basketball, it really seems that they turn into the team that wins the game outright, especially in some of these tight 1, 2, 2.5, 3.5 style games. But you don't believe me. Believe the trends. Idaho State 2-6-1 ATS last 9 Saturday games, 0-6 ATS last 6 overall, and 0-4 ATS last 4 as a road pooch. Air Force 4-2 ATS last 6 overall, and 4-1 ATS last 5 Saturday games. Partner, what say you, sir?
I don't have too much to add on this one, my man. You nailed just about every single angle in this one. I just really like the way Air Force is playing. Their strength of schedule has been pretty rough, but they are taking care of the teams that they have been playing. And like you said, Idaho State, I'm not buying into. So I am more than happy to lay the points with Air Force in this spot.
150%. I think this one should be -8.5, -9.5, -10. I would be comfortable taking it all the way up to there, but I love the -3.5 wherever you're finding it at. My friends down there, what say you? Are we on the right side? Are we wrong? What are we feeling?
Hard to make an argument for anything Idaho State besides their potatoes, man. It's not a good situation there. It's a very ugly team. They don't really have I mean, off the top of my head, and I'm glad I didn't prepare like every top 20 team going today. They don't have any real playmakers. I don't see them doing too much here. They really don't. What does bother me, Colton Riley, sports fans out there, is this line should be a little bit higher. I would say at least a point and a half, 2 points higher, which do the odds makers looking to trap you?
Yeah.
Or they know something we don't? So now I'm not saying anything. I would have, if I played this game, I would have to take Air Force here. But I think there are better games on the college basketball board. Now, sports fans, once again, less is more. Less is always more for me. If you, people out there, if you're betting a bunch of games or somebody you're following is giving you a bunch of games and you're making money, more power to it. Stay with what makes you money. I like less is more, and I think there's a couple of easier games to read. What's bothering me is this line should be a little bit higher. It's not. So, I mean, I would have to, if you tell me, hey, Joe, who are you going to bet on this game? There's one game on the board to bet. We got to bet it because we're going for beers. I would have to play Air Force.
Sure enough. Yeah, I agree with you in a lot of the stuff you said there, though, too. Air Force kind of tends to be a team that can let you down from time to time. I just think still the books are undervaluing them. They have been all year long, and they won as some big point dogs earlier on in the season so far. So I think they're finally kind of getting that value, and I think they're still just being a little undervalued. Like you said, maybe a point. This time of
the year, Colton, this time of the year, you're going to see your top 20s overvalued. You're going to see some of the teams that maybe aren't on the marquee every night. You're going to see them undervalued because the books also don't know how to figure them.
Right.
But I'll give you an example. There's a team that I played 5 times this season. 5 times, 4-1. I am with them. That I think the word is out. I think Santa Clara is a team. I like Santa Clara. They're a good team. They got good scorers. They're not afraid to play top teams from other conferences, big name teams, ranked teams. They can't be intimidated. They got some tough ass sons of guns on that team, and they got some scrap to them. And anytime a team has got some scrap, man, they're in it. And I'll tell you, even today they're playing, I think, UCI. And by the way, for you people out there, that's not a tract infection. That's
UC Irvine. Damn it! Why'd you put that in my head, Joe? Come on.
Well, I saw you drinking cranberry juice earlier. I just wanted to know. No, Riley laughs. I love Riley. I don't know if he's drunk or I'm funny.
If he's drunk or I'm funny.
Holy shit! I don't know.
Some of these teams, they get undervalued at this point in the year. I think that watching Santa Clara cover against TCU and a couple of other top teams are getting some of those wins. They're not going to be under the radar too much longer. I like them again today. I think the line is right around where it should be, but they still think they play well because everybody thinks that UCI, I can't do it. Irvine, because they're playing defense so well, but they really haven't played so many great teams. That's another thing. When you're looking at teams, NBA and college football, college basketball, or even NFL guys. Oh, this team's 5-1 their last 6, but the combined record of the 6 teams they played are like 8-34. So what difference does it make? It's like being the toughest guy in Rhode Island. It's the smallest damn state. Let it go. Guys, he's laughing. No, really. It's like being the smartest guy in special ed. Oh, my kid got an A. Valedictorian of special ed. Come on, guys. Listen. No, it's true, though. You've got to base a little bit on that, too. I mean, listen, you're only as good as the opponents you face. And a team like Santa Clara has faced and went up and been very scrappy against, I believe, 3 or 4 solid teams. And certain teams that are not. So you got to be honest, be honest to yourself, too, guys. And please stop betting with your hearts. Not you guys, out there with your hearts. I mean, don't bet your alma mater just because you went to Tallahassee JUCO, okay? They're not a very good team.
Hey, thank God we can't bet our college or our college teams in Illinois, or we would back the Illinois State Redbirds every opportunity we could. We're both, we're both alumni. We're huge on them. So I love that you actually mentioned Santa Clara too, because on our daily show and on this show too, they have become my mid-major darlings. I told Mags about them probably about a week ago. Now we've been about 2 weeks through the season. I was like, man, the books are just undervaluing this team. And, man, the Broncos are they're so damn good. And I saw them at the 3.5 today. I really, that you mentioned it, I think I'm going to end up hammering it in. The only thing that really worried me was UCI. There you go again. UCI's, their defense. Their defense
cranberry
is just...
Juice,
Cranberry Juice's defense is top-notch. So... I don't know. I think we might see a little bit of regression there. And like you said, I think that Santa Clara has more than enough firepower. And I think that they're going to start getting more overvalued than not here before we know it. So I think this is the time when you got to start back in Santa Clara, and I think I'm 3-1 on them. You're 4-1. I'm 3-1 on them. So I've been backing the mess out of them too. So
it's nice, and I like to see. I don't want to say smaller schools because it's a very well-known school, but it's like to see. It's nice to see teams like that do well against major schools because I love that. I love that. You could go up and down the California coast. There's 35 great schools there that really and what's funny, sports fans, is places like Florida, Texas, even Alabama. If players don't go, or even in college basketball, North Carolina, Kentucky. In North Carolina, within 65 miles, there's 5 or 6 great basketballs, college basketball.
Right.
And if you don't go to this, that, guys, watch out for some of these other smaller schools that aren't as well known as the Dukes, the North Carolinas, as UCLA. Look at these schools because there's a very large pool of talent in these states, and if some kids that have their hearts set on going USC, UCLA don't go there, they're going to Santa Clara. They're going to Pepperdine. There's some teams out there. They got some studs on these teams, and they know each other. They grow up playing grade school, high school. The coaches know each other. The coaching staffs. It's really interesting matchups. That's why I love those Santa schools. They're great. They always come to play. You don't see them getting blown out by 35 points by each other. They come to play. They're dogfights, and I love that. I like to see these smaller schools do well because it's so tough to keep pace with your top 25 schools.
Yeah, absolutely. I've kind of taken on the role of the mid-major king here at TTL. Have yet to lose my crown to anybody. I think that's where the value is this time of the year, Joe and Dion. I mean, college basketball, you mentioned it. You see the 25s, the 20s, the top 10s. Everybody wants to bet those games. Hell, it's feast week. Why wouldn't you want to? Let's go. Let's have some fun. Watch the big games. Put some action on it. But really, the value is going to be at these low to mid-major teams where you can kind of take advantage of the books really not knowing anything themselves about these teams.
The Colton, Riley, sports fans, that the odds makers know beforehand who you're going to bet. They know where the money's going to come, and they take that into consideration. It's not about who wins. It's about who covers, and it's about those books making that line attractive to one side so they can move it to the other. That's all it's about. I had a friend of mine passed on maybe 20 years ago. He was one of the first major bookmakers in this country. He told me he had the entire Hell's Kitchen police force under his on his payroll by the time he was 14. He was a famous guy here in Vegas, and he was the biggest bookmaker in the country. The biggest bookmaker in the country. And he said, Joe, I don't care who wins, who loses. I just move my lines, and I'm fine. At the end of the day, I got no opinion, ever. Sure. And it's true. The odds makers know who you're going to bet, sports fans. They know it beforehand, and that goes into the number. Remember, so sometimes you go, wow, look at this number. It should be this. They know your reaction is going to be. So and that's all that matters. Remember, it doesn't matter who wins. It matters who covers.
Absolutely. Now, partner, I think you got a team that is about to cover here today. Your final college basketball pick. Before we get into maybe one or two more rabbit holes, let our fine guests get on about their Saturdays. We'll do the same. But, my friend, indulge us all. What's your final college basketball play of the day, sir?
My man, I mentioned a little bit, the Portland Pilots. I actually am kind of blanking if this is neutral site or if it is at home, actually. That is on my bad. But I honestly, obviously, if it's at home, then I like that even more. But I was playing it under the impression that it might even be a neutral site game because all these games this week have been neutral site games. But I'm taking the Portland Pilots minus the 1.5. It does look like SEMO has been kind of a public bet side, but a lot of the money coming in on the Portland Pilots, at least where I'm seeing it right now. I think they're starting to get valued a little bit more here, but they've been underdogs in a good majority of their spots so far this year, or the last week or so at least, and they've been covering all these spots. And I think SEMO is about to be getting a lot. These 10-point spreads are going to start coming their way is kind of what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah.
And I think this is the last spot we're going to see a spread this tight here. I don't think they're a very good team. I think this Portland Pilots team is a scrappy team that's going to make this a close game, if not take this one easy. So I'm going the Portland Pilots minus the 1.5 right here. This one is a 2 p.m. Central Standard Time game. So
love it.
I think they're going to take care of business this afternoon.
I am all about it, dude. I looked splits right now, 25% of bets, but getting 56% of actual money wagered on the spread. Obviously, the sharp side here in this one. I think they're finally right around the right price they should be. I think they maybe even should be -2.5, -3.5 against SEMO. This is the exact spot. Mid-Major King speaking to you here. This is the exact spot that SEMO will kick you square in the teeth. It is. I've backed SEMO time and time again. Oh my gosh. Joe just said it. Put the lines like this for a reason. Oh my gosh, now Portland's favorite. Give me a break. SEMO is not the better team in this one. The Portland Pilots really are, and we quickly found out about it last week when we backed them, and now I think them being in a favorite spot is just fine too. So, hey, I'm already backing you, my friends. My friends down there, what do we think about the Portland Pilots?
I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. Under a basket for sure. I'm going to go ahead and go with you. Take Portland.
Absolutely. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. Well, there we go. There we have it. We talked about BYU, Utah. We talked about the tract infection and Santa Clara. We got into UCLA and UNLV, so everything kosher there. We've covered just about every college basketball game we had on our tap, on our slate, anything we needed to do. Is there anything else college basketball-wise you guys were looking at? Any additional value, anything there?
We look, it's funny is because for so many years, Dion would assist me by helping me get some things organized while I'm doing all my numbers and stuff in the wee hours while meth cooks are fast asleep in their beds. I'm awake doing numbers. I got Colt to spit out his coffee. But I got to tell you, Dion and I get up in the morning. We do our numbers together.
You have to stop, Joe. You have to stop. When you come on our shows, no more of this. I can't keep spitting water all over my set. I can't keep doing this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, but I'm glad I can bring some joy to your life.
I love you, my friend.
I adore it. And we love being on the show, man. We can't wait to come on again and make you spit out more water and hope to see.
We said 15 minutes and we're rocking on 35. If you are not an over better when it comes to hanging out with the D'Amicos and the TTL crew, I don't know what to tell you.
I have to tell you, we are concerned. We talked a little bit while you guys are talking. We put the mute button on. We were concerned with your tract infection. We want to make sure the cranberry juice helps. You gotta stop. You gotta be careful there, Colton. You really gotta be. That can turn. You can give you some stomach problems down the road. You gotta be careful. Ryan,
no problem.
Preach to him.
I'll be sure to scoop up some ocean spray after the show.
No, you know what? I think that's about all because I thought today was a very tough card. You got a couple of these. You got a couple of these tournaments of a little more marquee teams going off, and once again, we still got some of these teams on these extra board games that we call them. That you got some very good teams playing some lesser known teams. The lines are big. Please just take in consideration, guys. We got a lot of season to go, and sports fans, there's no harm, there's no sin in not playing every game on the board. Be selective, especially this time of the year. You may not know all the information that's out there. Especially in this health-conscious time, just before game. I'll give you an example, if I may, just to tell you, I'm as good as there is in this business. And for many years, I worked with the original odds maker here in Vegas that set the Vegas line that went all over the world. And I was very good at what I did. A few weeks ago, a week and a half ago, and I'm like number 1 or number 2 in the world in NBA on every leaderboard. I'm very happy with that. But I put out the Golden State Warriors. I have to have all my games up very early, between 7 and 8 a.m. during the week. Pacific Standard Time. I got the Warriors. I caught a 7 because it was 7.5. All of a sudden, right? I'm doing some stuff later on that day. What the frick did this game go down to 2 for? Who's out? They pulled Steph Curry and 3 other starters an hour before game time. I looked at Dion. I said, Dion, it's 2.5 right now. I bet you $1,000 right now they win by 3. They win by 3, and I get screwed because everybody that followed me earlier. Things like that. There's sometimes even guys like me that are as good as there are. Boom, something like that happens. So be cautious. Pick your spots. You'll have a good season. Listen to sharp guys like Colton Riley, sharp ladies like Dion, myself, guys, because this isn't what we do. This is who we are. Absolutely. All right, guys? We walk it like we talk. I'm telling you. Meth cooks are sleeping. I'm awake.
You and me both. Hey, you got me beat by about 3 hours, but I ride your coattails early in the morning. Then Mags eventually comes around too.
No, that's good. No, I got to tell you though, we were talking that Dion's doing her numbers, and sometimes like, well, what are you thinking that Oklahoma State game? You know what she told me last week? Go on the website and buy it like everybody else.
You might live under the same roof, but you ain't getting no special
get it for
exceptions,
free.
pal.
Absolutely
I
not.
don't care.
I can get a foot massage anytime I want, but I can't get the Oklahoma State
Free picks? Not a chance.
We can pay for it
Nope.
just like everybody else.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey,
I love it.
free foot massages, free mani-pedis, everything's a good kosher, but we ain't dishing out free picks around the D'Amico household. No question about it.
Pay for it. So, but
I love it. I love
I
it.
think we covered a lot of things on the day's board, and I
Yeah.
really do like Notre Dame. I love her play of Nevada.
Nevada,
The team
too.
That really looked good.
Yeah.
And I can be honest with you, I hate that, but I'm going to catch it all day from her. I like her BYU play as well. Which,
too.
by the way,
Me too.
I didn't know until I had to send you the games. She didn't tell me. She didn't tell me.
I wouldn't tell you what it was. Oh, hey, there you go. So yeah, that's about all we got too. If you guys want to stick around once we end the show, just chat for a minute here once we get off a live broadcast and everything. But before we send you guys out of here, all you beautiful people that tuned in today, one final thing I wanted to talk about before we get you guys out of here as well. The wonderful D'Amico, the first family of Vegas, the D'Amico family. The game, it's on tap. Everybody wants to know about it. Everybody has a side. Everybody has an opinion. Most people think Ohio State's going to roll. Circa Sports had the line at 8, dropped it down to 7 last night. Is this odds maker setting up a side, or is Michigan really going to keep this within a touchdown? What are you guys feeling today?
I first looked at this game, guys. I got to tell you, you look at it on paper, Ohio State should kill them. But sports fans, football isn't played on paper. It's played on the gridiron. I got to be honest. I thought it was a tough game, but if I had to put this game out, which I did not release it, I got to take Michigan when it was 7.5, 8.
That's why they got us, Joe. That's why they got us, Joe. Mags put it out at 7.5.
On paper, yes, Ohio State, but the odds makers know that. I'm not the biggest fan of Coach Harbaugh, especially in big game situations.
Right.
And if I'm not
Neither is he.
If I'm not mistaken, Ohio State has had their way with him over the years. Don't quote me on that.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
this team is playing well, and I think that some of the stats and things you see with Ohio State, while they're very well deserving of their ranking, I think they're a little blown up. If I had to play this game, remember, guys, not who wins, it's who covers. But I think Michigan has the opportunity to even beat them outright. But I think there are better games on today's board, like Nevada, like Notre Dame. I'm wearing green today. I'm wearing green, guys. No, there are good games on
Top
the board.
of the morning to you.
But the game is on top. I believe it starts in less than an hour, if I'm not mistaken. And
Yep.
if I had to play this game, I got to take the dog. Dion.
To be honest with you, I did not even look at this game. I'm not gonna lie.
Why not?
Hey, that's okay.
It was just a little bit too tough for me to decide on, so I just did
It's a
off
big public
one.
game. Yeah, it's a big public game for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I told Mags before I didn't know he was actually going to take a side in this one, because I actually thought he was going to take Ohio State. He's been taking Ohio State all year, and then that's what shocked me. And he hates Harbaugh and this, that, and the third, and he's on Michigan. So I said, man, I really like the points too. I think I'm going to get in the boat with you, man. Let's go after it.
I gotta get, and I give you a lot of respect, right? I mean, I like it. I give you respect because you're great at what you're doing, and I admire your angle. But to go against something that, is very tough, because we as bettors, we get into a groove too where we like certain teams, or we're playing certain teams, and all of a sudden it's not your head anymore, it's your heart going,
Right.
yeah, and then the next thing you know, you're by the freeway selling oranges because, because you lost your mortgage and take it home to your wife. So you got to be careful, guys. It's
Most
always
definitely.
about the line. It's about the line, the value it offers you, and it's about your head, man. Don't pick games at your heart. If it was, man, we'd all be by the freeway selling oranges.
Oh, yeah.
Sure enough.
Most definitely.
All right. Well, goodness gracious, we have gone down about every single rabbit hole we possibly could. Thank you to both Joe and Dion D'Amico. Thank you guys so much for stopping by Cup of Joe on campus. Cheers to you guys one more time for sipping some Joe with us this morning, talking about the college football slates, college basketball slates, dishing out some free winners. You see them right down there below us, going right across the screen, right at perfect timing. How about that for host duties, my friends? All right. Well, Joe and Dion, once again, if you want to stick around just for a moment here once we close out the show. But to all of the rest of you, my partner, thank you for joining me as always, my friend. We hope you have a spectacular rest of your Saturday, filled with nothing but ticket cash in, unless you have any other plans. And you might want to turn down your volume just a little bit down there below us, because it does get a little wild once we close out the show. As always, hey partner, let's cash some tickets. And